This is not a drill. I've actually nearly finished my book. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Corinne and I am a writer. I'm writing dystopian romance and I like to make videos about it and also talk about all the books I've read and talk about some other bookish topics. So that sounds good. Subscribe. And this is just a little bit of a catch up to let you know that things are moving, that I am fucking working and my book is nearly done. I'm now at like 83 or 84,000 words. And I'm anticipating the book to be around 100,000. I think it might go to 105,000. I officially have 3 chapters left and the end of chapter 15 because the book is 18 chapters in total. Each chapter is kind of long, so each chapter is about 5,000 words. I know that's kind of long, but there's definitely some spaces in those chapters where you can have a break. And the reason it's so long is because it's dual POV, so I switch each chapter between the two main characters, and you kind of want a bit of time in each of those characters because you want to see like their character development and see them going through like a whole chapter of the plot and like what happens. So it's very intentional. We'll see if it stays that way after I work with like a professional editor. But for now, that is what it is. And like, it's already book length, especially for a debut. Debut has to really be under 100,000 words. It can be a little bit longer for certain genres. This might be one of those genres, but I'm not so sure. Publishing at the moment is definitely really hard and they're getting very firm on the word counts. So a lot of cutting maybe in my future, but hopefully not too much. Hopefully I can get it done roughly within the word limit and I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's better to have like too much than too little, so long as you don't have like a whole book's worth of too much, because then that's really heartbreaking. So last year, 2025, I did quite a lot of writing updates and they were all quite negative because I was having a bit of a year. Lots of stuff happened and I moved house and moved my horse yards like twice. It was just chaotic, it was hectic, and I was just not in the right space of mind. I didn't have the energy or the time to do much. This year, I'm much more settled, so I've been able to get quite a lot done, especially this month. We're not even at the end of March yet, and I'm already nearly on 13,000 words. Probably by Tuesday, which is the end of March, I'm probably going to have done like 15,000 words, which is maybe my best month ever. And I've made loads of YouTube videos as well. I've officially done about 8 hours, not including today, of YouTube work. I filmed 3 videos today and I'm going to edit all of these by the end of March. So that's probably going to be 14 or 15 hours of YouTube work. I've done lots of Instagram book reviews, and so far, with a few days in March remaining, I've done 12,901 words in 16 and a half hours. It's probably going to end up being 15,000 words in about 18 or 19 hours because I'm going to do quite a lot tomorrow and on Monday. And I'm hopeful I can finish chapter 15 by the official end of March. My deadline that I've set myself is about the 14th of May. It's my birthday on the 19th. I'm going home, so I'm going to have like a nice 2 week break off and away from my computer. So I really want to get the draft done for then. And then when I come back, probably continue to have a few weeks off, do a bit of research about editing and maybe read some craft books. Have a nice proper break. I might do some work on like my other book because in January this year I came up with a whole like medieval horror book and I got started on it and I plotted it out. I've wrote like not very much, like the first couple of pages, just the opening, to try and get a feel for it. And because writing in January was just like pulling teeth, I was getting back into it and I was struggling. So this became my fun little side like procrastination project. And I actually think it's got a lot of potential. So I might do some writing of that in my break from this, but I'll talk about it in a future video. This month I also watched loads of TikToks from that woman, Gina, the literary agent. She does a lot of feedback on TikTok of people's query letters and lots of like good educational content. I've seen a lot of other educational content from like Instagram, literary agents sharing tips on query letters and stuff like that. So I had a go at writing one. I've basically written my letter, obviously without the personalization. Haven't written the synopsis yet because I want to get the draft finished first. And then I think in my break, I'm going to really work on that synopsis, before going into the edit, because I think it will give me a lot of clarity on what's pitchable and what works about the story, what's kind of the uncompromising plot beats, and like obviously it's only a couple of pages, so I can change it later if I need to, but I shouldn't need to. Hopefully by the time I've done like my first proper edit, all of that developmental editing stuff should be there. The plot should be there. If it's not, then I've got big problems. So I did a lot of agent and query letter research this month and did some work on that. Obviously, I did my video about trying to find perfect comps, and I've been reading a lot in my genre as well, trying to find those comps of things that are currently in the market. That's been really good, really fun. So I really feel like things are moving and things are going well, and that I can probably do it if I work really hard. I can probably finish by my deadline in mid May, which leaves me 6 weeks to do 3 chapters, 2 weeks per chapter. I think that's doable. 5,000 words across 2 weeks, 3 times in a row, doable. The end is in sight. I think the middle of the novel was so difficult, like, it really dragged all over the course of 2025 because it's just the sticky middle. I think most people find that when the finish line's still a way to go and you're kind of over the honeymoon phase and you're like, is this even any good? Is it all going to end up in the bin? Am I trash, talentless, stupid? Like, it's like the dark night of the soul. And I still feel like there's a lot of room for improvement, but we're near the end and I feel very hopeful and that I can polish this up into something really good. And I've got loads of ideas for the edit already of what needs to be done. I did kind of that soft developmental edit of the first half of the novel already. I did that last year. So I've already got lots of notes on that to go from. Things are now changing. Like, I'm bringing things into the second half of the novel which need to be put back in early on, but that's fine. I can kind of easily add that into the plan, and I feel not completely lost because I've been kind of editing as I go quite a lot, which I know you're not supposed to do, but I don't feel like it's completely a vomit draft. I feel like there's a lot of thought behind it, and I've done a lot of thought about the plot and the character arcs, things like that, and I just need to refine it quite a bit more, particularly all of like the political elements. But it's all getting there, it's all cooking, so I'm not too worried. Watch this space. Maybe by the time I've done a few edits, I'll be like on here in tears and being like, it's actually all trash and I was speaking rubbish. Entirely possible. February, kind of a short month. I also did 5,000 words, which is not anywhere close to where I am now, but that was quite good. That was much better than most of my months in 2025. So that was clearly me like getting into it and getting up to where I am now. And January, there was quite a few days where I didn't write, but I did manage to do 3,000 words. And I also did, like I said, plot a whole medieval horror novel and write the opening of it. And all through this, I've done lots of Instagram and weekly YouTube videos, even though I said ages ago that I was going to soften on the weekly thing. I just haven't been able to do it. Like, my work ethic with it is like, no, like, you can do it. Just come on. I have been feeling a bit less of a desire to make videos, hence why I'm doing more wrap ups and things rather than in depth reviews. But things are getting there. Things with YouTube are still slow. I'm still putting a lot of time into it. January it says like 15 and a half hours. This month's kind of the same. Last month was also about 8.5 hours of video making, which is a good day or two extra of work per month. But it's okay. And I'm proud that I've managed to maintain YouTube and maintain those kind of hours whilst also putting a lot of work into the book and really upping my word count. It's probably not sustainable long term, and this is probably just a brief period of high productivity with the writing and YouTube combined. But that's all I need to get to the finish line. So I think the fact that I know that I can do it by May and that there is an end point is really helping me just sit down and get on with it, because when I was at the start of the novel or the middle with like no end in sight, keeping that kind of level of productivity was really hard. And I think that's totally understandable. And I think that's something I've learned about maybe my process. Maybe I can build in like more strategic breaks and more mini bit deadlines for like each of the acts and take a real intentional break. Maybe that'll help with future projects. But I also think because it's my first book, I don't have any like validation or confidence that I can get to the end. At least I didn't when I was at the midpoint. I was determined to, but I was also really burnt out and fatigued. So part of me was worried that I wouldn't do it. Now that I'm so close to the end, I'm like, yeah, I can definitely do this. And I feel like once I get to the end, I'm going to be like, oh, that wasn't that hard. I actually did do it. And that's going to improve my confidence a lot more. And going into future projects, I'm going to be like, okay, I know this is going to take me a couple of years and that this is how I work. This is what didn't work well for me at certain points of the novel or at certain points of my life. And maybe I can have like a good idea of what's a realistic expectation for me with the life that I have and the energy that I have. And I think that's going to be really valuable and something that I've learned. Right, guys, my like camera cut out, and then I filmed the whole video again, and I think I did it better, but my camera cut out again, so that's all gone, and I don't have the will to live, let alone film it for a third time from scratch. So that's the end of the video. I did go on to say about my writers group and how helpful that's been because my other writer friends have been doing really well. One of them did like 25,000 words or something in 2 weeks, and I was like, I could have finished my book in that time if I did that. So that was really inspirational. The other one's like in querying trenches and working on lots of other projects, which I kind of do as well. So that's been really great, and I would really recommend making a little writers group with people in person because I think it's really valuable. It's nice to build each other up and be inspired rather than threatened by other people. So that's good, and that has helped me with my productivity. But yeah, I can't remember what else I said because I've done like 2.5 videos. It was probably a load of rubbish. So I'll spare you the details. And sorry if I've repeated myself by accident by virtue of this whole half a video thing. Subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along with my writer's journey and also hear about everything I'm reading and other bookish topics. My next update will be me finishing the novel, I promise you. And if you're a writer, writing a project, drafting in the query trenches, subscribe and we can be our own little inspirational writers group online and talk about how we're doing and hopefully make this a nice, wholesome space for everyone that's just going through it, trying to birth something into the world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!